Lloyd and McIntosh are together. And at the opposite end of the ground, so too Fletcher and Cummings. Doubleheader Sunday. His second leg. 2 of 3 undefeated teams in the competition, and away we go. Neither ruckman touched the ball. It bounces back to Alessio. Rintoul trying to crash his way through. Braun confronted by Fraser. Simons out of the congestion. Down towards half forward and Long. Met solidly there twice. He's hurt Michael Long. Meantime, they go forward to the Bombers. The ball down towards full forward. A lot of wrestling between McIntosh and Lloyd. So the main event is underway, but Long is down and hurt back in the middle. And that could be a shoulder or ribs. I think it happened in the first collision with Banfield, and another West Coast Eagle fell on top of him.
Very solid hit from Drew Banfield, who's a really strong player.
Alessio, brilliantly done. Snaps a goal. Great start for the Bombers.
Yeah, strong work by Alessio in that bounce down there. Just kept ball away from the footy. Used his body very well. Grabbed it clean out of the ruck, and there was no one in front of him to put pressure on the boot. If you have a look at the hit by Banfield, just a solid hit. Looks certainly like his ribs, although his legs bent over sideways too. So we'll have to watch that.
And already, Dennis, it's interesting to see the West Coast have made a change off the interchange bench.
Michael Long is on his feet, surrounded by trainers. Hopefully he can stay out there, but I doubt he will, at least in the short term. One down by Ball, and a whistle free kick going to the Eagles to be taken by Jason Ball alongside the centre circle. Buick charging through. Emotions running high at the moment. Did he play on? I think he did. He's told to now. Touched by the man on the mark. It wanders down towards half forward. Barnard over the ball. Wellman picks it up off his step, boots it out towards the wing. And Essendon with a chance to go forward. Jukovic driving down towards the attacking 50. Awkward bounce. Beat both McIntosh and Lloyd. Plenty of Eagles back. This is Braun on his read, just outside the defensive 50. Decides to ignore Banfield and go for distance. Poor kick though. Bounces on the wing. Geary coming up to mid it. Crashing through is Young. It comes back to Geary. Fraser Geary back in the team this afternoon. Digs it out to Metropolis. That was ambitious. Carousella charged it down. Carousella charges in. Solomon falling to the ground to Barnard. Nicely played. Mercury, Buick back to Barnard. Brilliant football by the Bombers. Long kick. Jakovic back to cover. Deep in his own defensive area. Boots it towards the outer side. Braun has it now. The Eagles away. Braun punts it up towards the wing. Coming on a searching lead is Cousins. Left it behind and in play. They've got a problem as a result. Heffernan is slung. Hand passes towards half forward, gathered by Metropolis. Young plays on immediately. Well shepherded by Simons. Young towards half forward. On the lead, Lloyd. Was he held? No free kick. Play goes on. Dug out of there by Blumfield. Knocked forward by Fraser. Jukovic. Solomon's in trouble. Down he goes. Weirpunder's after the loose ball. Buick spins in back towards Jukovic. Crashing the pack down there, Lucas. It spills across to Rintoul. And Rintoul boots it out towards the boundary. Banfield leads in the chase. What a thrilling start. Up-tempo match so far. White on the wing. White to Kemp. Not a good kick. Collided with Embley. This is Young. Arches the back. Through the centre square towards half forward. Jukovic was up, knocked away by Weirpunder. In goes Reid. Fraser ties it up. Whistle. I'll take a breath.
Yeah, Dennis, there's some interesting matchups out there, of course. Philip Reid's actually got the job on Darren Buick on centre wing. As we watch this replay here, great contest between two players. Long certainly had his eyes only for the ball, and also Heffernan is picking up Cousins in centre field.
That kick came from Weirpunder down towards half forward. White. Brilliantly played there initially by Wellman to knock the hand pass down, and again applying pressure. Well done by Wellman. Still he's going. White emerges with it though. Gave it to Jakovic. Philip Matera's on. Can take it and go. Philip Matera. No, he checks. Right on the 50. Kemp down towards full forward. Offers the lead now. Nobody is back except Geary. Not a bad option. Well, Philip Matera hanging onto the ball a long time, now goes to the pocket. Geary came on the lead, having dropped back initially. Bearing in mind he's a left footer, not a bad spot for him. Fraser Geary in the right full forward pocket.
Fairly tough kick for him here, just with the breeze blowing across him. So it'll take a bit of work yet A good play by Philip Matera. Was in the initial congestion, then took off down the ground. Jakovic spotted him, and a beautiful left foot kick out in front gave Phil Matera a mark, and he just waited for the lead.
Fraser Gehrig leans back, bends it back beautifully, scores a level.
Very good start by both sides at the moment. They look very keen. They're running hard. The attack on the football's been hard early, which is great to see. The tackling's ferocious. Both teams trying to find space. It's going to be a great game, I think. The weather conditions just conducive to sensational footy, but we've already seen Matthew Lloyd coming a long way out of the goal square, outside the 50-metre line, bringing McIntosh on long leads. He knows he's going to have to find space up the ground today.
And he's one player who could have a fair say in this contest. Fraser Gehrig, knowing that he's matched up by Wallace at this stage, his speed should come into it with these conditions the way they are.
Play restarts then. The feet of Alessio. Blumfield, 33 possessions last week, down towards half forward. Mercury and McKenna, brilliantly picked up by Morrison, swings it out wide. Reid in front with support. Reid, ball, brilliantly played by Simons twice. The tackle, then the almost intercept. He knocked it down, bought some time for his teammates. Ball unloads now inside the 50. In front was Cummings, knocked away by Fletcher. Loose ball on the 50. Kemp in the grasp. Camped over the ball was White. Barnard in the opposite direction. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Mitchell White against Barnard. He was taken high. White 55 metres from goal. Bright sunny day, hot day in Perth, and things lively and heating up at Subiaco. Mitchell White unloads, long down towards full forward. All Bombers down there.
No tall players.
Back.
No tall players at all for the Eagles for that kick.
Young. Barry Young. Deep in his own defensive area. Former Tiger. Very handy spare parts man to Hardwick. Hardwick in the back pocket then. High towards half back. Wellman from behind. Banfield missed it. Barnard sockers it forward. Lucas struggling for form at the moment. Didn't have the ball. No free kick. Jakovic comes away. Awkward half volley. Pitches in front of Gehrig. Taken well by Hardwick. Getting back is Young to knock it across the line.
Dennis, it's a very sore Michael Long we've got down here on the boundary. He definitely hurt his ribs. The doctor's got the stethoscope out now and checking for a punctured lung. That's how serious it is at the moment. I'll keep you posted.
Thanks, Adrian. Behind, Young again, keeping busy. Buick across the ground. Carosella. Fraser breaking for him. That's ignored. It's back towards the middle. Nothing on, so Carosella will go for distance around the outer side. Three-quarter kick. Blumfield leading hard takes the mark. Improving player. Blumfield towards half forward. Morrison had to wait. Heffernan's in there. Tied up baller.
Essendon certainly keeping their 50-metre zone open. The only two players down there, McIntosh and Lloyd. Now Alessio's now drawing ball down into there.
Heffernan knocks it towards the boundary line, and Reid knocks it across.
And John, you'll find that'll be a tactic used by Essendon most of the day. Alessio being the tall marking forward, balls getting dragged away from the ruck contest to make him be a tall defender. Certainly that structure would suit Essendon at this stage.
Jakovic, as far as Fraser, to Lucas. Hurriedly to half forward. Wiapunda missed it. Mercury, quick hands away. Too quick were they?
Yeah, he called throw, Dennis. Good call.
McKenna to take the free. Interesting guy. McKenna likes to gamble across half back. Mercury, the sort of player who would love playing on a gambler. McKenna looking for Rintoul out in front, and runs away from him across the line. I mentioned the weather. It is a warm one. Expected max 26, current max 26. No doubt about the Bureau. Ball knocks it down in front. Solomon. Blumfield getting a hand in there. Wiapunda. Banfield brilliantly done, still going. Ran into a dead end. Alessio decides to hand pass down towards the pocket. Rintoul's in front down there. Wiapunda I didn't think he kept it in. The boundary umpire in a perfect spot though. Jakovic, short one towards the middle. Embley has to go. Did well, the youngster. Plays on. Jakovic running again. Carrying on from last week. Jacko stops. The short one threads the needle. Braun has it. Michael Braun. This is White. The space in Kemp. Too nimble, slipping away from Barnard. Braun running on. One of two. Braun opts out. Cummings on the lead. He's marked it close to the boundary line. Scotty Cummings.
I think it's fair to say also, Dennis, that the West Coast Eagles team generally are running that little bit harder to receive the ball on the way through, John. You've just seen Braun on that occasion. He's been matched up by Simons in midfield. Braun's a natural midfielder, whereas Simons tends to struggle in that part of the ground. Usually you see him back in defence or in the forward 50. So it's foreign territory for Michael Simons. Certainly he'll have to adjust his game to be more accountable on Michael Braun on the way through when the West Coast have possession of the ball.
7 last week, 13 for the season. From Essendon via Port Adelaide. Normally a pretty reliable kick. This one slides across the face. Ball was up. It's played against the behind post and will be thrown in. If we call Jason Ball catching fire. As we look at Scotty Cummings. Jason Ball with 3 goals on Justin Fletcher. In the first quarter of a clash back in '95 on this ground. He's camped in front here now against Alessio. Alessio did well in a tight situation. Brilliantly done by Cousins. Smothered the kick from Heffernan. Like a goalkeeper, Wallace. Socked off the ground down there by, is it Jones? No, it's Philip Matera, I think.
Philip Matera. Well, great pressure from the West Coast Eagles. Ben Cousins running the ball down, forcing it to the goal line, and Phil Matera swooping on the opportunity right on the goal line. Just very good, hard football. You watch the replay. Ben Cousins just a great smother. Kept the ball in front of him, banged it towards the goal. Wallace did well to stop it, but was about to knock it over. Phil Matera swooped on the opportunity, which is what a good little forward's all about. If that opportunity's there, make sure they're around it.
Well, he's been starting well in recent games, Philip Matera, and again, just taking the half chance and capitalising.
Sheedy's made a change already. He's a bit worried with Fraser Gehrig's pace. He's moved Dustin Fletcher out to him and Wallace on the Cummings, which may help Cummings even more.
Embley down towards half forward. Kemp was he held, no free kick. Blumfield tackled, bumped, everything happened to him. This is Young. He got it from Simons to Barnard. Barnard, the defensive side of the wing. Probing kick down towards the 50. Lucas had it knocked away by Jakovic. Carousella leads in the race. Well played. Or was it? Jakovic sensed the danger, got in there. Lucas battles on. They tie it up. Lucas kept it alive. Solomon on his knees, digs it out. This is Metropolis. Still Metropolis. And across the line it goes for a boundary throw-in. Daniel Metropolis, who grew up barracking for the Bombers.
Glenn Jakovic certainly starting well. Just a good spoil there on Lucas, getting his hands on the footy and looking very confident.
Throw in just outside the attacking 50 for Essendon. Alessio doing very well. Missed with his kick though. Morrison's got it, somehow escaped like Houdini. Boots it up towards the wing. White, will it stay in for him? Yes, no. It did, and he fumbled it across the line.
He's looking dangerous as well. Mitchell White, he's covering a bit of ground and leading Sean Wellman to the ball. He'll want to be right up there with Mitchell White.
Fierce tempo on what's a hot day. Throw it in, Wellman and White. Falls behind them. Rintoul kept it in front, didn't have the ball. No free kick. Nicely played by Cousins to Kemp. Plenty of class there. Watch the finish. No mark. It bounced off the chest of Cummings. Fletcher was slung. The ball went at right angles. Missed by Banfield. Plenty of Bombers are back. Socked it off the ground by Wallace towards the boundary. Or is it Hardwick? It's Hardwick who takes it across and will be penalised.
Tough call there by the umpire, but I think the umpire just felt that it wasn't well enough disguised.
Well, Gehrig told to play on out of bounds. He kicks it across the face. Cummings missed it. It's out of bounds in the opposite pocket. Hayden Kennedy waving Gehrig on when Gehrig was standing about 3 or 4 metres across the boundary line. Remarkable things happening. Boundary throw in. Wellman and White. Wellman did well to knock it down behind. Broad, slippery. Kemp, 45 metres out to the pocket. Rintoul.
That's classy finish by Dean Kemp. He got around onto his left foot, saw Rintoul, but first he wanted to make sure he couldn't get a clean shot at goal. Didn't want to waste an extra possession where you can make a mistake inside 50. But once he realised he was going to get run down by an Essendon player, just fed it off to Rintoul. That's a sign of a real good player, Mick, one who's got time to assess his options and still feed the ball out.
He certainly is a quality player. Just great composure on that occasion.
Rintoul, quite a pick-up in exchange for a 6th-round draft pick, and he steers it home.
Yeah, just to start, the West Coast Eagles needed today. Fine conditions, home crowd advantage. Certainly the start, we see Dean Kemp just assess his options. He could have blazed away at goal, but you see Chad Rintoul just drift forward into that vacant 25 to 30 metre area from goal. He was unopposed, just used the ball beautifully, assessed his options, and that's what team-orientated football is all about. Terrific start by the West Coast Eagles.
The Eagles on top. They lead by 12 points. Ball and Alessio. Good bounce. Alessio wins it down through the legs of Fraser. McKenna dragged down immediately by Mercury. It spills towards the wing. Fraser across to Wellman. Short one still inside the centre square, missed by Wallace. Reading it nicely, Mercury. Long to full forward, and Lloyd, the first of the afternoon, he dribbles it through.
Well, good reading of the ball. Mercury, as we said, a danger man. Just running to the front of the pack there. The ball actually slipped through the hands of the Essendon player. Mercury read it well. Banged it to the advantage of Lloyd, the right side of the body. He had McIntosh behind him, and he is a classy player. The use of his body here against a strong player like McIntosh just turned him, got goal side of McIntosh, and just had to finish it off with a good kick.
An early goal to Matthew Lloyd. Something for Ashley McIntosh to think about, perhaps. A goal the difference. Breeze, as we heard, going right to left. The sea breeze in, not all that strong at the moment. Embley and Ball battle after it. Alessio picks it up. Treads on Ball on the way out. And the ball up.
And Kevin Sheedy's had to readjust his defensive 6, knowing that Wallace was probably the odd man out in that part of the ground. Now there seem to be better matchups in their forward, in their defensive 50. Wallace has actually gone forward and played at full forward. Metropolis is now picking him up.
Driven forward by Heffernan towards half forward. Jukovic got a hand to it. Mercury, did he throw it? He was going to be paid a throw. Cousins away though, paid the advantage. The kick wide of the target. Barnard tried to punch it away and missed. Hardwick gets back across to Wellman, tries to break a tackle. Hardwick under pressure. Well done, Philip Matera, picked up by White. Banfield with the right foot, prods at Goldwood and misses.
Terrific stuff there by Philip Matera. That was just absolutely terrific forward pressure stuff. That's what you like to see your smaller players in that part of the ground do, John.
Yeah, Essendon were going to run the ball out, no doubt, and just the extra effort by the small forward created a scoring opportunity.
Young on the lead, close to the boundary line, sits obligingly for him. Barry Young wanting support, demanding support, goes to Wellman. Another tackle claims him. Barnard back to Young. Decides to run away, down towards the wing, weaving. Now he's got a problem. Jukovic, forward of the wing. Bombers working it well. Jukovic bounced it, gets past Jakovic. That was interesting. Long kick. Simons battling the sun, dropped the mark. Buick hasn't got the ball. He's a master of that. Simon spins out of trouble. Solomon, 35 metres out, snaps. First behind of the afternoon.
Whew, she's a hot tempo, Johnny.
Oh, it's
gone
good.
from one end of the ground to the other. It's just amazing. When you use the ball effectively on the way through, normally you get a result on the scoreboard. The defensive pressure in today's game is just going to be outstanding.
The team that gets their hands on the footy, they're not making too many mistakes. They're using the ball very cleanly and moving it straight down the ground.
Metropolis hard against the line to Cousins. Cousins short of the wing. Weapunda, he's away through the wing. White comes on the lead, fisted away by Wellman. White and Wellman. White did best. Hand passes to Rintoul. Rintoul kicks down towards half for a poor kick. In front, Barnard breaks away. Looping hand pass. Releases Heffernan through the centre circle. He travels, boots it down towards half forward. Metropolis tracking it across. Coming out was Wallace on his knees. Jukovic claimed from behind by Cousins. Cousins and Jukovic brilliantly played by Ben Cousins. Jukovic came back for a rematch. It's in there somewhere. And we've got a whistle.
Great pressure both sides, just not giving it either player any chance to pick up the footy. Just look at the desperation here. Dean Wallace coming in, using his body, locking the ball in.
Jukovic right across the face of goal. It bounces towards the opposite pocket. Taken by Ball. This is McIntosh. McIntosh cruising up towards half-back. Not a particularly good kick. Wanders up towards the wing. Kemp falling to the ground. Missed the target. Blumfield nicely done. Young, bit impressive. This is Carousella. Carousella slips away. Still Carousella to Buick. Buick 65 metres out. Pokes it inside the 50. Storming up down there was Wallace. Kept it alive. Down goes Lucas. Over the top of him was Jakovic. Off the ground by Buick. Bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
Dennis, just news on Michael Long. He definitely has hurt ribs. He's sitting upright, ramrod straight on the interchange bench. Every breath is painful. I'll be surprised if you see Michael Long again today.
A clash in the first 15 seconds with Drew Banfield. He joined us late. That's what happened to Michael Long. Tossed in. Clean possession to ball. Slapped away by Alessio. Reed went in. Solomon close to the boundary line. And out it goes. Waiting their turn. No doubt in these conditions they'll see action. Plenty of it. Alessio, clean possession, throws it on the boot, kicking at his second, hangs in the air. Wallace coming back. Reed. Metropolis juggles it across the line.
Good attempt by Philip Reed there. Just kept his eyes on the footy, ran back with the flight of it. Made a good contest for the Eagles.
Doubleheader Sunday on 7 from Subiaco Oval. Everything we expected and more so far. Eagles lead it by 6 points. Ball down in front. Reed along the ground, bouncing it out towards the defensive 50. Simons in front. Picked up by Buick. Robbed of it by Reed. Reed, the rookie of the year for the Eagles last season, is away. 3 bounces, carries him up towards the wing, kicks it down towards half forward. Didn't have a lot on. I'm not sure that wasn't his intention. The crowd groaned, but looking down the field, only Philip Matera, I think, could have been a target. He was squeezed up against the boundary line. Eagles by 6 points. Boundary throw in. Gehrig. Barnard will battle this time. Gehrig swipes at it, misses.
McKenna's running with McCurry. McCurry started half forward, went in for a few centre bounces, and McKenna actually followed him into the centre.
Gehrig taps it down deftly as it turned out. McCurry dives over McKenna. Barnard. That's about the 3rd time McCurry's been pinned for a throw.
Can't get his fist on it today, but the heat certainly is on out there, and you have to get rid of the ball pretty quickly.
Guy McKenna. Outer side wing. McCurry on the ground getting it up, but not legally.
Looked like the ball just squeezed out of there.
Banfield standing alongside McCurry on the mark. Drew Banfield, what a warrior for the West Coast Eagles. Coming off 30 possessions last week. Well, these things happen, even to Warriors. Not a good kick, down towards half forward. Wellman in trouble. Spins out of it. Hardwick, reliable, hurriedly onto the boot. Lucas from behind Jakovic. He started pretty well, Jakovic. Kept coming too. Braun crashes in, went down. Jakovic untidy. Essendon free kick to be taken by Simons. Well, I think Jacko that time was believing his own publicity. He was pumped up. Cannon into Simons. He goes to Jakovic's man. Good policy. That rubs it in. Lucas forward of half back to the middle. Young playing very well. Driving it high inside the attacking 50. Lloyd and McIntosh. And McIntosh is just scoring the fight. Landed a good blow that time. Morrison around the boundary. Back come the Eagles. This is Braun. Forward of half-back, spears it in. Gehrig takes the mark, plays on immediately. Jacko was trying to get his breath out there, I think, close to the boundary line. Good finish, though.
Good use of football.
White playing very well, proving a handful for Wellman. Sends it high. Cummings outnumbered. The ball at the back, socket off the ground there by Hardwick. And the mark is taken by Barnard. Hardwick is limping behind play. Barnard drives it towards the outer side. Morrison with great courage came across on the angle, knocks it towards the boundary line, and out it goes. We've got 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining till quarter time. It's been terrific so far.
John, it's interesting watching the Eagles forward key players, White and Gehrig and Cummings. They're very disciplined in their starting points. They really lead hard directly at the kicker. Is that a set policy usually from the West Coast Eagles point of view when you do play forward?
It certainly is, especially this year with Cummings being a focal point and a regular one at full forward. Gehrig and White know that one of them has to be leading up the field at the players, giving them that target every time.
When Jakovic got it to Braun, Jakovic looking as good as we've seen for a long time. Braun, lovely kick. Rintoul getting behind Fraser. Clock is running down. Michael Long around the boundary to warm applause. Rintoul is centering kick. Cummings checks off the ball, trying for the one-hander. Claimed by Fletcher. It's hot in there. Lumfield to Wellman towards the outer side. Simons with a problem with his son, drops the mark. Still he goes. The players will be perspiring freely as well. Simons played it well eventually. Goes down towards half-forward. The speedster Fraser has it. Releases Lucas. He can run to the 50, Lucas. Scotty Lucas lines it up. He's normally a long kick. This is not bad. Just misses. Falling away left to right.
It was interesting watching the Essendon, sorry John, the forward 50 there. There was Buick and there was Heffernan. 3 or 4 Essendon players that were free. It's amazing when you do take it upon yourself, you have to kick them goals.
You certainly do. You've got to make sure.
Metropolis. Rintoul. Rintoul wants to go. Mitchell White will need to go. It's in short of White as the leading player, but Alessio, who's been very good, to Wellman. Wellman down towards centre half forward. Fraser wide of the pack. Jakovic though knocking it forward. Riapunda falling to the ground. Reed likewise. They'll work it out. Nicely done. Riapunda took them on. He got it from Cousins. He's in trouble. Embley spins out of trouble. Banfield, the long kick. Puts it up Gehrig. No. Instead he goes looking Philip Matera's way. Over the top was Hardwick. Hardwick tumbling to the ground. Got a piece of Matera. And the whistle is gone.
Yeah, professional free kick. Hardwick was gone. Matera was running away from him. Hardwick was going to ground. Phil Matera, very quick recovery off the ground. If he does go to ground, he's up and scurrying after the ball straight away. Hardwick really had no option. You can see he just didn't want to let him get away. Grabbed him by the leg and did hold up play, which has probably helped Essendon.
Down to 9 seconds, and they've whistled time back on now, so the clock is running. And Matera, I'd suggest, is too far out to score. It could finish up taking the kick after the siren. Well, how will they call that one?
Not going to play
it. Mark. Certainly from where we are, that ball was in flight, and the umpire did hear it. The umpire has gone across. This is interesting. Number 21. If we talk about these umpires, number 21 is Greg Stroop, who wasn't down to officiate this afternoon. Wasn't sure. But the other umpire has dashed across, and he was much closer to the grandstand and would have heard the siren first. So justice, I think, has been done. Quarter time, it's been very eventful. Breeze in this term. Any observations?
No, I think it's just a tight, honest contest at this stage. I think it's just going to come back down to the midfield group that really works the hardest over the course of the game. We made mention, Johnny, in the first probably 15 minutes or so, it was the West Coast Eagles midfield group. Reed, Kemp, who played forward, Banfield, Cousins. Their work rate across the ground was just that little bit higher than what the Essendon team was.
Yeah, it was, Mickey, there's no doubt. And I think, as Robbie Wiley said, the Eagles worked very hard that quarter. Probably not quite happy just to be 1 goal in front.
Start of the second term, Alessio goes up defiantly, thumps it down towards half forward. Morrison, this is Riapunda, this is Broad. To Riapunda, the defensive side of the wing. Going short to Peter Matera, no. That's instead the hand pass to Braun. Braun's on the wing, goes down towards half forward, setting Philip Matera a task down there, knocked away by Hardwick. Matera did well twice. Socket off the ground despite the oncoming Barnard. It's out of bounds and will be tossed in.
Yeah, great second effort, Phil Matera, to follow the ball up. Every time he makes a contest, looks around quickly to see where the ball is on the ground and has another dip at it.
Carosella is marking Peter Matera just off this boundary throw-in. Last time these sides played, Peter Matera booted 7 goals. Roundhouse right there from Barnard. This ball is chipped towards the boundary line by Heffernan and bounces across.
That move of having Philip Matera in the forward pocket no doubt would suit Malthouse, merely because Damien Hardwick, as we know, is a renowned rebounder out of Essendon's defensive 50. At this stage, because he's been drawn back so far, he's had minimal impact on this game.
Alessio props in front, ball directs it down, taken by Reid in the shadows. Peter Matera floats it down towards full forward. Cummings almost built the mark. Fletcher comes away then, close to the boundary line. Ball in best position, missed it. Play on's the call. Peter Matera slips it away. This is Cousins, forward of the wing. Back inside the 50 come the Eagles. Gearick from behind. Barnard had problems with his son. Gearick can soccer off the gravel. Buick did. Quick thinking. There's a chance for Carosella. Comes away from half-back. Boots up towards the wing. Wallace in front. Fisted away by Metropolis. Wallace gathers the crumb. Carosella's run on. Decides he likes it. He's still running. Now he stops. Little chip pass further afield. Nicely done. Fraser inside the 50. Lloyd under the ball. No place to be with McIntosh. Punta could have been leg. Advantage is paid. McIntosh to Morrison. Morrison storming up towards centre half back. Chips towards midfield. Well done by Alessio. He hasn't got the ball. Play goes on. White. Meat in the sandwich. Morrison falling to the ground. Rintoul the fumble. Eventually Wellman off his step down towards half forward. Cousins. Quickly across to Metropolis. Cousins was taken to. As he got rid of that ball, he's hurt. Wallace collected him. Punta around the outer side. Got it from Metropolis. Kicks it down towards half forward. Will it stay in for Kemp? Still Kemp on his knees. Diving in there is Blumfield. The ball is across the line. And it will be thrown in.
It's good footy at the moment. Just every player accountable for an opponent. And just seeing the players chase, give that extra contest. See there, Wallace just making sure that no Eagles player gets an easy ball away. All players having to work for everything they get out there today.
Dennis, one for Johnny Worsfold. Guy McKenna has been given the tagging job basically on Mark Mercuri by the look of it, which is a big compliment, Woosha, to Mercuri.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it'll test Bluey's fitness out, but he's had a great pre-season and he's obviously told Mick that he's confident he can run with Mercuri all day.
There's Fraser, close to the boundary line, across to Young. Puts it up towards midfield. Loose ball just inside the centre square. This is Heffernan in the grasp. Lucas on his left side, down towards half forward and Wallace. Wallace against the boundary line. Lloyd on the lead. It goes in that direction. Hasn't got the carry. Brilliantly done. Turned him inside out. McIntosh off his step. Sends it down towards full forward. McVeigh was interfering with Punta. And Punta will get the free.
Yeah, holding on McVeigh onto Punta.
The kick coming out was very chancy. Set Reid up. Simons crashed into him. Knocked the ball across the boundary line. Throw in on the attacking 50 then for the Bombers. Plenty of support for the Bombers too. My son is one of them. Down in front. McKenna slides in. Across the line again. Another throw in. They really do have great support all around the country when they come to Perth or when they go to Adelaide. Plenty of voice for them. One of the great clubs of Australia. Ball and Alessio. Buick behind. Right on the 50. Snaps it back. Down towards full forward. Metropolis. That's a good grab. What a beauty.
Yeah, terrific mark. Found front position. Knowing that Buick had certainly kicked the ball towards goal as he goes wide to Matera, but terrific courage to stand his ground in front of the Essendon's goal square.
Peter Matera tripped the light fantastic around the boundary and speared a pass into Kemp. Dean Kemp up towards the wing. Fraser Gearick on the burst. She's a lively forward. Very hard to match up. Very hard to contain. Gearick to Banfield. Left-sided players out there. Comes back to Gearick. Gearick is 65 metres out. Miscues completely. Well, he got to the leading Cummings in any case. Cummings delays the release of the ball to Braun. Braun rides an attempted tackle. Gets it back to Fraser Gearick. Gearick had the kick smothered, I think, or at least deflected back towards the boundary line. And eventually it's knocked across, and Gearick taking a deep breath there. Some long searching running.
He's run a long way up from the wing all the way down to the forward pocket. Good hard run by Fraser Gehrig.
Boundary throw in. Alessio and Ball fell at their side. Alessio, who's been very good, is over the ball and was held without it. That's a very interesting call.
Cross too high. The umpire called it.
Okay.
Across the neck.
That makes more sense.
Simons is out. He can be used to switch direction.
This ball's arm reaching in for the footy. The umpire deemed it a high contact.
Simons. Heffernan missed it. That's all the chance Banfield needs. To White. Off his step. Back to half forward. A real battle going on at the moment. Simons has been penalised.
Yeah, the umpire called he used the hands to get rid of Braun in that marking contest. Therefore, the umpire paid it in the back.
Braun was about 60 metres out. Simons did complete the mark, so I think he feels a little hardly done by. Philip Matera leads to the pocket, and it's on it. Such is the respect players up the ground have got for him these days. Alessio charged down by Philip Matera. That's why the players up the ground respect him. He gives great second and third efforts. Heffernan confronted by Philip Matera, and eventually it's out of bounds on the full. Philip Matera take a bow. He was in there from the first moment, flailing away for the West Coast Eagles. Now Braun is the beneficiary of his good work.
Yeah, amazing the psychological pressure that gets put on the opposition side when that defensive pressure is a part of your game.
No substitute for speed, is there? Down in front of the pack, Cummings. Unkind bounce, it rolls across the line. Speedy players who are prepared to work are worth their weight in gold.
Oh, they certainly are. You can't get away with it because those players can just put that extra referred pressure on and cause turnovers when they normally aren't there. And Philip Matera is showing that today.
Brief lull, we need it. Margin is 6 points. McKenna off his step. Raw. Kemp is on for the short one. Too much carry. Well played by Simons. That sun really testing him, but he got a good result. No, not the best result because he's been penalised for deliberate.
Yeah, again, just no attempt to even slow the ball up here. He did just whack it straight over the boundary line. Tough call from there, but the umpires like to see him at least try and control the football first.
Dean Kemp. Not beyond him this one with that southwester. If you can imagine this, it's coming from his right, so he starts it out towards the far post. The breeze will grab it and push it left. Well, almost.
Admittedly, Kemp finished with the ball, John, but it's just a low percentage play. That chip kick over the mark, it was Braun on that occasion. You have to give it that extra bit of elevation. Admittedly, Kemp was there free to be used, but it just doesn't find its target. You've got to open up the angle.
Not if the player has to go back on the ball. It's all right if he can come forward to it, but when you've got to wait there, you're in a bit of strife.
Barnard up towards the wing. It's Lucas taking a tumble, and the mark is paid. He plays on immediately. Presenting Jakovic with a problem. Lloyd fisted away by McIntosh, out of bounds. The crowd really into this duel.
Hasn't he got that unbelievable ability?
Well, that's the difference to last week. There's no doubt that Lloyd would have taken that mark, except for McIntosh just being able to get his fist right on the football that last second.
Bolton. And Morrison wins it. Lucas. Still Lucas towards the boundary. Reid crashes in. Doesn't take any prisoners, young Philip Reid.
Not too many easy balls to be won out there today. Both sides showing a lot of hunger to get in and make a real contest for those hard balls.
I hate to date myself, but it's great to see a couple of players, a couple of champions, one-on-one in a football match. Something we don't see a lot of in footy these days. Close to the boundary and across it goes. And the crowd just enjoying that matchup. Lloyd and McIntosh every time it goes near them.
Dennis, just to underline the great young talent available today at the benches of the two clubs. Jones, Embley, Williams, Bellotti for the Eagles. And for the Bombers, Jukovic, Solomon, Burbakov and Long, who I think is out of this game.
Heffernan, as he pushed in the back, it's out of bounds again. And football has evolved away from those one-on-one clashes where the stars met.
It certainly has, Dennis. It's unfortunate we don't see a lot of it, knowing a lot of midfielders get run with players, but in the key starting points in each other's forward line, it's great to see the good defender. What a mark.
Rintoul. What a mark by Chad Rintoul. Comes back to him from Peter Matera. Kicks it down towards the 50. Loose ball inside that line now. Young approaches it through his leg. Sleight of hand, sleight of leg. Blumfield. Carosella in trouble. Bolton picks it up. Blumfield. Tackle from behind. That's got to be holding the ball. No, play goes on. Young over the top. Mercury virtually unsighted this afternoon. Didn't appear to have it. That was pushed in the back, surely. Young, he's paid it. Well, that was about the third or fourth one in that exchange.
Well, it's sensational pressure at the moment. No chance to grab hold of the footy and look where you want to get it. You've just got to go to the voice.
Carosella. Simons on the wing. 3-3 plays 2-2. Eagles in front by 7 points. Wellman.
Good kick
towards the 50 into the path of Alessio. He goes back. Some good talking from Dean Wallace coming up as well. So Alessio knew there was no problem. He's a thumping kick. Could put this right to the square if that's his desire. Now he goes to the middle. In front, Cousins must get a free.
Terrific awareness there by Cousin on that occasion. Knowing that Alessio had to change direction of the ball, he went into the danger zone, certainly committed his body and got the just rewards, a free kick.
Matera, the hand pass to the running Metropolis. Metropolis up towards the wing. High ball down towards half forward. White's in front, going back. Got a contest from behind Wellman. Coming away then Fraser towards half forward. Bolton spilt it. Gets the hand pass off. Blumfield surrounded by Eagles. Was surprised. They were all around him. Morrison taking advantage of the turnover. Braun gives it to the running Cousins. And the Eagles away. Ben Cousins on the members' side pulls it back. Weapunda. Weapunda should run at the defence. He decides to let Cousins do that. Sweeping hand pass inboard taken by Banfield. Philip Matera. Philip Matera is only about 30 metres out. Pretty sharp angle, but he's a sharp shooter.
Gee, you see some exhausted players here on centre wing. Broad and Cousins. Also, as we see Banfield coming off the ground, he's being replaced by Jones at this stage. But there was a group of 5 or 6 players from both teams that really worked hard offensively and also defensively. We see Wallace coming off the ground, replaced by Burbikoff for Essendon. But all in all, this has been a terrific contest. Both sides really prepared to run hard and work hard for their respective teams and clubs.
Philip Matera kicking at his second. Just under 10.5 minutes to half-time, and he's got it. The Eagles stretch their lead.
That's a great reward for Philip Matera. His work rate this season so far for the West Coast Eagles on the forward line has just been first class. He hasn't stopped trying. He hasn't had a lot of rewards come his way. That time, after all the hard work he's done creating for his teammates, he ended up with the loose ball, took an easy chest mark and a very good kick to kick the goal. But sensational game of footy so far, both teams. And no doubt Drew Banfield's gone off just to have a rest because it is so hot out there. And Mick Malthouse will be trying to freshen him up.
I know my good mate Ray Jordan is watching this in Melbourne. Slug, everyone in Perth wishes you the best. There's the bounce. Back in the middle. The Eagles have slipped away. Alessio down towards half forward. Lucas out in front. Jakovic right there with him. Across the line it goes. And that's another wonderful duel. Enjoying that one.
Dennis, the more you see Jakovic this year, he's certainly starting to get back to the mobile, agile type of player we've seen a couple of years ago. But he's relishing this challenge to play on Scott Lucas at centre-half back today.
Ball knocked it down. Little chip kick came from Buick. It was intercepted by Cousins to Braun, the defensive side of the wing. Braun was looking for Geary. Fisted away down there, back towards the wing. Opportunity for Braun, fell to the ground. McVeigh can't keep it in, across it goes. Shane Rintoul moments ago took a spectacular mark on the underside wing.
Good strong hands there. Great mark.
Boundary throw in on the wing. Morrison fancied himself as a ruckman there. McVeigh under the pump. 9th man taken in the draft. Wearing number 10. That's a great honour at Essendon. Here's a chance for Mercury. It's been well held so far. Kicks for space. Lloyd well up the ground. Takes the mark. Matthew Lloyd has played only 3 games against the West Coast Eagles since debuting in '95. Has kicked 4 goals in those 3 matches. This is a wasted kick. Weapunda.
Terrific stuff here by the West Coast defence. They're really overplaying that hole. They're getting off their direct opponents. They're pushing back to that dangerous part of the ground to receive the oncoming ball. They're certainly doing it with confidence.
Young Both players misjudging that slightly. Jones in front of him and across the line. So a throw in. Attacking side of right centre wing for the Bombers. Some tired players approaching half-time. McVeigh goes after it. Knocked away by Weapunda. Brilliantly done.
They're just denying the Essendon team space at the moment. They're not getting any free flow into their game whatsoever. The pressure from West Coast defensively has been outstanding at this stage of the game. It's very good stuff.
How about Morrison doing the rucking here opposed to Bolton? In from the side comes Heffernan. Spins out of trouble nicely. Throws it on the boot. He realised that situation, took advantage of it. Berbakoff knocks it towards the attacking 50. Alessio fell over. McIntosh grabs it, boots it back to the wing, only as far as Mercury. Mark Mercury off his step. McVeigh has it. Wants to go and does. The talented left footer down towards the attacking 50. Going back, the mark is taken by McKenna.
Last week we certainly would have seen Matthew Lloyd go at that contest in the air. On that occasion he just cut off by McIntosh. Terrific experience defensively.
Great aggressive lead there from White to get the mark initially, and now Geary on the end of White's kick. Mitchell White is playing very well at centre half forward for the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, good lead, good kick by Mitchell White. Fine Fraser Gehrig. The Eagles really just squeezing Essendon as they go forward, eventually causing a turnover, and then the Eagles really running the ball hard forward and are finding space.
Now Fraser Gehrig has a breeze behind him, so this is not beyond him. Well, having said that, he miscues, it wanders down towards the pocket. Behind Cummings, sockers off the ground, impossible angle, I tell you what, it's a goal.
Well, the value of those second efforts where you do make a contest, don't give up if you haven't taken the mark. Have a look around, fight where the footy is, especially if you're close to goal. You know that the ball's going to be on the ground, it's still alive, go searching for it, and those full forwards, they find all sorts of ways to kick goals. If the ball's down there, they don't like to miss out on too many opportunities. Scotty Cummings there, just found the footy, knew where the goals were, got it clean off the boot, and a very good goal to the West Coast Eagles.
This is just an amazing shot on goal. We see Cummings off the ground. He knew as soon as he kicked it. Matera gave the 2 fingers up to the goal umpire, but I think a lot of credit should be given to David Weapunda across half-back. He was the one who instigated that play.
Camp would have been happy with that one. Alessio knocks it down. Jones, well played. Cousins trying to charge through. Heffernan gave it away. Jones. This pressure is telling on some of the Bombers now, at least for the moment. White goes looking for Cummings. Had it knocked away by Fletcher. Fletcher's away. Around the outer side. Finds Fraser. Sons of 2 famous Bombers combining there. Fraser down towards half forward. McKenna brilliantly played, falling to the ground. Clean ball Kemp. Mercury. The hand pass meant Fraser had to wait at close quarters. Simon's in trouble. Chopped off by Braun. He lost it. Crashing in was Mercury. Whistle. Ball up.
Well, again, great pressure football. Essendon players getting their hands on it, but really being under the pump, looking for teammates, and they do find one. He's just as much under the pump. The Eagles have locked it up again.
Just in situations like that, John, I think Essendon are far better off just getting the ball forward by foot rather than trying to finesse and trying to find someone forward of the ball. The pressure from Eagles is certainly paramount, and that's the reason why the Bombers are turning the ball over so often.
Eagles by 19 points. Weapunda driving it back inside the 50. They're thumped towards the boundary line. They'll be thrown in.
Dennis, it must be pretty hot out there because all the oldies are getting rested. Dean Kemp's is coming off for a rest now. Drew Banfield's on the bench. And for the Bombers, Dean Wallace and Darren Buick are having a spell.
Andrew Williams on the ground. Got a big roar. 4 goals last week against Collingwood. Boundary throw in just inside the 50. Bolton the fumble initially. Recovers pretty well. Falling to the ground. Look for the boundary. And Steve McBurney says throw it in.
Just the instructions come out from Kevin Sheedy to push David Weapunda back. McVeigh's going into the goal square to drag that rebounding effect that Weapunda is starting to have on this game.
Boundary throw in. Bolton. Jukovic. Full of Matera somehow through his legs. And Williams hand passes towards the boundary. The ball came to rest on the line. Carousella could have been holding it, as it turned out. No, it's out of bounds and will be thrown in again. Matera seems to think it was holding the ball. Mind you, he's got a vested interest.
Peter Matera's looked a bit sharper today, coming on at quarter time. He's got his hands on the footy and looking a lot sharper than he did last week.
Off the ball, some shepherding.
Yeah, Reid against Mercury it was. Just off the ball, away from that ruck contest. He was shepherding him off the ball. That's the reason why Hayden Kennedy gave that free kick, Dennis.
Essendon slides it up towards midfield. Fletcher in trouble now, dropped the mark. Compounded the problem by spilling it. Jones into the path of Cousins. A problem for the Bombers. Brilliantly done by Williams. Rode Jukovic out of the contest. Cousins kicks a goal and gets it. Take a bow, young Williams.
Oh, sensational foul by Andrew Williams. Just great use of the body, because there was always going to be a body clash. Cousins coming through with Williams' opponent, but he just got his body in between and sent Cummings away. But as you said, Mick, what the Eagles players do here, Jones just scrambles the ball forward rather than trying to look for an opponent who was going to be under pressure, and it just bounced Cousins' way. He ran onto it, and a classy footballer like Benny Cousins is going to really eat those goals. He would never miss those ones. Very good goal, team goal by the Eagles.
Alarm bells are sounding for the Bombers. 6-3 plays 2-2. Just under 6 minutes till half-time. On the breeze, the Eagles doing very well. Mercury coughed it up. Jones to Peter Matera. Spears it into Geary. Oh, and the appetite is rising amongst these Eagles. Geary on the breeze. Nobody back. Cummings, well, he had the option. Decision time, 2 metres out. Could have let it go. He's taken the mark. Chance to kick his second goal against his old team. That's
always interesting, Dennis. Full forwards, we saw Scotty Cummings kick off the ground. They always know where the goals are when the ball's on the ground. Sometimes when it's coming in like that, they're never sure. They have to take the mark.
Lost his compass.
I think we have to go back to the midfield again, John. Mark Mercury, his intention was to handball. The pressure from Eagles again, turn that ball over. If they get the ball forward 30 metres, it's out of that congestion. And Essendon forwards instinctively would have ran onto it. But now we see the result. Cummings kicking from 2 metres out should kick another goal for the Eagles, this being their 7th.
He's on an angle. He's put it through.
Well, the Eagles are starting to really dominate the game. Their pressure really on the Essendon side is starting to show up. Essendon really hung in there, went tough. See the ball there, Matera going forward, and just the use of the Eagles football at the moment. Once they get possession, they're really making sure that they keep hold of the footy. Scotty Cummings getting inside. A good long kick by Fraser Gehrig to set that one up.
Well, it seems a marriage made in heaven. The West Coast Eagles and Scotty Cummings straighten them up, and he's kicking goals. Ball and Alessio. Ball decisively. Peter Matera bounces it. Williams miscues with the hand pass, rather untidy. Morrison back to Williams. Favoured by his left foot, then gives it away. Wellman inside the last 5 minutes of the half. The Bombers could do with a late goal. Here's Lucas across the body, pulling it back. Lloyd did brilliantly. Worked off his marker, but then dropped the mark. McIntosh crashed in. Weapunda the hand pass away. Jakovic was slung. Lucas is umpiring the game. Weapunda got it to Morrison. Across to McKenna. McKenna up towards the wing. Jukovic did well. Spotted the danger.
Yeah, read that well. Jukovic took a good strong mark.
Wants to go. Drives it back towards centre half forward. Well, 4 Eagles there. McVeigh really no chance. McKenna to the outer side. Whoops, there somewhere. Williams has it. Little chip pass. Gehrig just too nimble over the first 5 metres for Barnard. And by then, Barnard, if the kick is right, can't get there in time. Bounces off the chest of White, close to the boundary line. Wellman crashes into him. Hand pass comes back from Williams. Gehrig was held. He'll get the free.
Just a little tug at the jumper by Barnard to pull Gehrig back, and the umpire spotted it. You see Barnard just a little bit worried that Gehrig was going to get away. That little tug right in front of the umpire.
Hasn't Williams had an impact? Fresh man onto the ground. Timing superb from Michael Malthouse.
That's going to be the key today. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Banfield will certainly burst his way back on, probably now after half-time. Dean Kemp having a rest, and they've both been good in the first half.
This is one of the biggest problems, just getting your poise and composure after competing for the ball on a day like today. Gearing long down towards full forward. Cummings!
Oh, that's a great mark.
Oh, he's enjoying this.
He's looked pretty dangerous today, Cummings. A few balls he's had to dive for and just hasn't quite got. But he looked like he may have been able to. Robbie Wiley said they would have liked a bit better return from him in the first quarter, and he's starting to show what he can do for the Eagles now. Mitchell White coming off for a rest, and again, been very, very good at centre half forward in the first half. Young Bellotti coming on, fresh legs, and Mitchell White will have a good breather going into half-time, come out fresh after half-time.
Mitchell White, 4 marks, 11 possessions. He's been the player of the half for mine. Constantly presenting himself, just running hard. And when you win in both key forward positions, you've got a great chance. Cummings for his third before half-time. So the lesser light amongst the full forwards is stealing the show.
Yeah, certainly Scotty Cummings has fitted into this West Coast Eagles team extremely well. As Dennis mentioned earlier, he certainly has straightened them up. He does lead straight up the ground, but that's a terrific pack mark. Essendon would no doubt be disappointed in that they didn't get the ball across the goal line. All their key defenders ran underneath the flight of the ball. Scotty Cummings, the man on picture, he was the one who read the flight of the ball better than the rest. Plus a goal resulted.
The margin is 37 points. Remarkable. The West Coast Eagles really on a roll. Ball battling with Heffernan. Cousins, they're dominating the centre square at the moment. Rintoul, away comes. Probing kick. Cummings fisted away by Fletcher. His pride has been pricked. Rintoul wanted too much time. Buick ran him down. The kick floats to full forward. Gearing was up, missed the mark. Hardwick grabs it, boots it back towards half back, and that'll do for the Bombers. Anything will do at the moment. Out of bounds.
Good clearing kick there, but just a great bit of running by Ben Cousins out of the centre. Handballed out in front of Rintoul. Followed up extremely hard to give a Shepherd, and then run hard with his teammate.
It's been a while. Thrown in on the 50. Peter Matera. Nicely done there. Out of the ruck by Bellotti. This ball socket off the ground by Bellotti, who followed up, but in front, Fletcher. Brief respite for a beleaguered defence. 51 plays 14. So the Bombers have not scored in this term. Dustin Fletcher, quality player, boots it to the members' wing. Mercury, that's a good mark, smallest man of the three. Mark Mercury up to the wing. Lloyd on the lead. McIntosh relishing the challenge there, step for step, and across the line.
As we said before the game, if Lloyd, if the Essendon players can't get enough football to him at full forward, he'll come right up the ground, and contested that in the Eagles' half of the ground.
This is wonderful. The crowd not caring about the throw-in. They're applauding McIntosh, and I guess to a lesser extent Lloyd, back to their positions. Meantime, Bolton's got the free. From half back to midfield, Alessio had it knocked away. Follows on, collected Metropolis on the way through, and it's going to be a free kick, I think, to Metropolis. Taken high, but
great aggressive work by Alessio, just a little bit high. I think his arm just slipped up over the shoulder of Metropolis, but very aggressive footy.
Jankovic running away. It's like watching a tape from 1995. Cummings, well, he wouldn't be on that tape. Imagine this is Peter Sumich, because he had a few right out here.
Yeah, that's someone's spot out there. A bit harder for the right footer, Scotty Cummings. But a good kick out in front of him, and he's... The difference now, we see Lloyd has to come up the ground and start trying to get the footy. Essendon can't get it deep into their forward line. Scotty Cummings still making most of his leads out of the goal square.
Well, there's 44 seconds to go to half-time. Cummings misses to the near side. What a term it's been. Out of bounds on the full. Mark Mercury, not where they wanted him picking up kicks, I'm sure, in the back pocket. They need him firing on their forward line, the Bombers. Mercury with precision to Wellman. We're down to 25 seconds. Storming second term by the West Coast Eagles. Hardwick. Bombers just pinned down back there. Hardwick heads for the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full. Well, one of their best players. One of their toughest men is feeling the heat. Cousins. 9 seconds to play. Shades of the first term. Loose ball across half forward. Jukovic comes through, bounces it up towards the middle. We're down to a couple of seconds now. Lloyd pushing right up the ground, drops a mark. In many ways, that spilt mark says something about the first half. Michael Malthouse would be delighted. Half-time at Subiaco Oval. The West Coast Eagles lead 8-3 to 2-2. Second half, can the Bombers stage a resurgence? And what we've seen, highly unlikely, but they haven't lost a game this season, and that's for no reason. There goes the kick for Blumfield down towards half forward. Jakovic, a big fist on it. Reed met very solidly. Hardwick having the desired effect immediately. The kick goes inside the 50, and taking the tumbling mark is Carosella. Reed is up. I was just watching him. He certainly felt that one.
Yeah, good hard bump, Hardwick. Just a good solid hit. And that's why Shreddy will be saying to the players now, we're going to have to play a lot more physical and try and ruffle the Eagles.
I think the most important thing, John, they're just starting to look like they want to get their hands on the ball in the trenches. Blake Carosella's actually pushed forward. He's picking up more or less a defensive pattern on Wirapunda. Carosella, as we know, he's gone forward before and has become a multiple goal kicker for the Bombers.
Carosella, who started the game on the bench against the Swans, had a lot of the ball last week. Kicks from 40, and he's missed. I can just imagine in the coach's box they would be pretty upset with that. That would have been the fairy tale start to get them going. Hard hit in the centre square, something they wanted to do, and then a goal as a result of it would have been terrific for them. McIntosh to Morrison, told to play on. Morrison off his step, back to McIntosh. McIntosh only about 15 metres out from his own defensive goal, taking plenty of time. Squares the ball. Metropolis from the pocket drives it up towards the wing. Bolton and Jakovic. Jakovic almost the mark, kept his feet. Sock is off the ground across the line.
Aaron Jakovic has had nothing to do with Lucas going back to a forward pocket. He's pushed actually Metropolis back. Now they're swapping back. Metropolis is coming up the ground to pick up Bolton. Also, Jakovic is going back to centre half back to pick up Fletcher.
Ball did well. In front Barnard though. Blumfield on the wing across the body down towards half forward. Cousins slipping in front of the leading Fletcher. Ben Cousins coming up for his 15th possession. The centre problem now, it's pretty low in the west. He miscues with the kick. Blumfield bounces off Young, who comes away with the footy, boots it back towards half forward for the Bombers. Heffernan, almost a clever mark, recovers pretty well, forces it towards Carosella. Back to Heffernan, run down from behind, spinning out of trouble as Lucas feigns a hand pass, confronted, dragged down. Well done by Morrison. Affected the kick, and Wirapunda, who's been so lively, takes the mark, squares it. McKenna has it. Nothing on down the ground. He'll have to stop, come back to the middle and find McIntosh. Short one. Bellotti.
Quick change made by the Eagles. Get Bellotti on because Essendon are testing him out with some tools up forward.
Peter Matera on the wing. Has looked better this afternoon. Kicks it down towards half forward. Williams, strong running. Made it a foot race. And when you consider his opponent was Fraser, it wasn't a bad effort. Williams. Cummings on the lead. Hayden Kennedy has to pull Wallace back a couple of paces. And Scott Cummings will kick from about 50.
Beautiful pass by Andrew Williams, and as you called it, Dennis, just a hard running by Williams against Fraser and a beautiful kick. Took a strong chest mark and plenty of room up forward for Scotty Cummings to lead into. It certainly makes it easier for the full forwards.
Now his kick is sheltered by the stands here, so the breeze won't be a factor. Going at his fourth. And this could be a body blow for the Bombers if he gets it. Starts it right, it stays right. And behind.
I know it sounds a little bit critical, but I suppose Scott Lucas, we know he certainly can play the game. But on that occasion, back in the forward pocket for Essendon, he was just too conscious of getting to his left side, creating a turnover, and the Eagles push the ball forward.
Young to Berbakoff. He's at right half back. They need to spark the Bombers. Berbatov for distance down towards half forward. Plenty of Eagles around. Jakovic, a big thump away from a teammate as it turned out. Blumfield is dragged down, holding the ball to call. The tackling by the Eagles ferocious this afternoon. Two of their smaller players involved there. Three of them now. Cousins booting it up towards half forward. Gearig a little tentative approaching that ball. This is Fraser. Slips the hand pass away. Barnard from centre half back. Out towards the wing. The two big men. Must be a free kick to ball. Well done. Angled himself on Alessio's approach. Stole his ground and stole the kick.
A good smart footy by Jason Ball, because he was going to be caught out a little bit. So just threw his body in between and forced the free kick from Alessio.
Enthralling duel, that one. Ball miscues with a kick down towards half forward. Wellman did well coming over the top, intent on destruction. He thumped it across the boundary line.
Be interesting to see whether Kevin Sheedy pushes Alessio forward and actually uses Fletcher in the ruck, knowing that Belotti's a little bit inexperienced in terms of playing that part of the ground. I just think that might be an ideal option to get Fletcher into this contest.
The Bombers have got the breeze. The Eagles have the lead, as it was at half-time. 37 points. Braun, well shepherded by Weir Punda, but Braun couldn't keep it in.
A good team running by the Eagles. Just they've had numbers around the footy. One going for the ball and always a player running hard to assist, either with a shepherd or just by being the voice or the number.
Runners being sent off the ground. Hayden Kennedy. Boundary throw in. Fletcher thumps it Essendon's way. Peter Matera gets back. Look at the explosive pace of Cousins taken high. Well, Heffernan had him. He'd done the hard work. Free kick to Cousins across half back.
It looked like Heffernan actually wanted to make Cousins really feel that one, and it was a crude high tackle.
Peter Matera, almost a great mark there to Mitchell White. Well, he finished up with a ball, but not the one he was after. It comes across to Barnard. Barnard pumps it back towards the 50 for the Bombers. McIntosh got it on the ground. Alessio can't pick it up. Ball's got him. He threw it.
Good recovery by Jason Ball to get back into play and put the tackle on.
Jakovic relishing the situation this afternoon away. Lucas in pursuit. Jakovic almost squares the ball. McKenna has it. Forward of left half back.
Poor checking by Scott Lucas. He just allowed Jakovic to run forward out to centre wing. You've got to be more defensively in that part of the ground, son.
White. What a game he's played. Mitchell White for the leading Cummings. It falls in short. Hardwick stood his ground. Cummings reluctant to let Hardwick go, but Hardwick has the ball inside his own defensive 50. Young fumbles. Cummings was there quickly. Now Hardwick, as a result, under pressure. There's a whistle, and the umpire is going across. I'm not sure what he was initially going to do. Down on the ground is Young holding his jaw. I've got to say, I didn't see a lot of that. He was going to award a free kick.
Here it is here, Dennis. There was a free kick. He released the ball there to Hardwick to get the ball out of that area. A little bit of a howdy-do behind play between Young and Geary. That's all it was.
Meanwhile, the Eagles have forced a turnover again. Cummings will have the last laugh. And they're doing a bit of jawing now.
You see all the Eagles players batting Scotty Cummings on the back. Another good kick by Mitchell White. He's been dominant player at centre half forward. Spotted Cummings, him on the chest. The Essendon players have got to play harder. There's certainly no doubt they've come out wanting to take it up to the Eagles, but they can't lose focus. That the harder you are at the footy, that's when you start to win the ball.
So Cummings, another chance to boot his fourth directly in front. And you would think he should kick this. So for all their efforts, Essendon further behind than they were at half-time. Defiant fist.
He certainly is passionate, Scott Cummings, about his performance today. He's exuberant in his approach. He loves kicking goals, he loves taking marks. But Mitchell White, terrific poise to assess his options on the way through. As Dennis called in the second quarter, he's been one player that really has stood up today We know he's a quality player. He can play at both ends, but he certainly is a focal point across centre half forward for the West Coast Eagles. He's done it well today.
Well, it's a volatile sort of afternoon. Plenty happening, plenty being said. Now the umpire is coming across, and the ball apparently is slightly flat. Not the game, not the crowd, but the footy. So a brief respite. And the ground is still buzzing after Scott Cummings booted his 4th goal. Very demonstrative as the ball went through. You'd know these Bomber players very well. Ball to Cummings, or rather to Cousins, towards half forward. White worked under it. Mercury got it to Berbatov, away to Fraser. Fraser breaks away from half back, boots it towards half forward. Bellotti got a fist on that one, angled it towards the boundary line, hacked out of midair by Braun. It stays in initially. Fraser, great courage on his knees. Hand passes across towards Fletcher. Fletcher, high kick, hugging the boundary line. McIntosh and Lloyd picked up by a falling Morrison to Bellotti. Bellotti in trouble, goes back to Jakovic. Jakovic, a looping hand pass over the top. Morrison, in trouble, Bellotti. He was flattened, but not before he got the hand pass to Jones. Jones drives it inside the 50. Good mark is taken down there by Solomon.
Solomon's a player that's actually gone back to play on Matera. Harwick, as we said, started the 3rd quarter into the centre bounce. There's a poor kick.
Yes, not wise from Solomon. He kicked it directly to Peter Matera. And Matera will pump it back in yet again. 9-4-2-3. Cummings. Wallace. Well, Wallace just forlornly trotted along behind there. I thought he may have made a greater effort to get there in time and perhaps make a little contact. Ball gathers the half volley, pulls it back towards full forward, off hands. Well, that could have been ironic. Down went McIntosh. He thought about a shot on goal. We've got a ball up close to the boundary line.
Just query whether Wallace is the right option for Cummings at this stage. Cummings is exceptionally quick. Maybe Barnard, who started this 3rd quarter on centre wing, could actually go and play that defensive post. And maybe a young player in McVie or someone could play centre wing with a bit of speed and ability to use the ball on the way through.
Fraser Gehrig tackled as he took clean possession, puts it out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mick. Wallace plays very, very tight. Look, no players inside the Essendon 50 up the other end of the ground, but Wallace plays very, very tight when the ball's up the other end of the ground. He niggles the player, tries to put them off their game, but when the ball's coming out, Cummings is too smart on the lead and he's finding plenty of space.
There's Young in the back pocket. Interesting. McIntosh jogging back towards full back. Alongside him is Lloyd. Just moments ago, McIntosh had a chance to perhaps kick a score. Wouldn't that be the ultimate slap in the face if McIntosh finished the day with a higher score than Lloyd? Mercury gets the hand pass away. Solomon under pressure, back to Mercury. Look at this, Essendon in real trouble. Down goes Wellman, forced to kick in a hurry across the ground. Morrison with pace, Bolton after him. Morrison wheels around. Good kick, Peter Matera. He's marked 65 metres out. Now the crowd are loving it. Matera towards the pocket, hasn't got the carry. Philip Matera is going to get a free kick. Advantage won't be paid. Well, the umpire thought about paying advantage. This will be interesting. No, he's going to bring it back. Well, the two umpires adjudicating on that, umpires Scroop and Hayden Kennedy, were 5 metres apart. I'm not sure they made the same call.
There's definitely a free kick to Matera.
All's well that ends well. Philip Matera's got the ball deep in the left full forward pocket. But certainly, umpire Kennedy thought about it in terms of paying advantage, even when the players had stopped.
They may have just missed that opportunity to play advantage as they worked out who was controlling the game there, Dennis.
Well, they were very close, weren't they? Philip Matera, sharp angle, slides it across the face, out of bounds on the full opposite pocket.
There's certainly some heat in this game at the moment. Essendon really trying to find a spark, but they can't get the ball out away from the Eagles forward 50. Just the pressure that the Eagles players are putting on them as they try and run the ball out. And as Mickey said, in the second quarter, sometimes they've just got to throw it on their boot and get it moving forward quickly.
Might be time to get out the record book and take a look at Essendon's lowest score against the Eagles, because they're not moving much at the moment. They're 2-3.
Dennis, I'll give you the benches for the teams. Kemp and Banfield are both a bit sore and being rested at the moment. Metropolis and Embley for the Eagles. For the Bombers, Jukovic, Simons, McVeigh and Long, who's out of the game.
Ball at the back of the pack after the boundary throw in. Philip Matera. How did he dispose of that ball? That's an interesting question. He's got a whistle. The defensive side of left centre wing for Essendon. Buick comes off. Simons comes on. One West Australian for another. Morrison. This is Lucas. Plenty of company, as you can see, and that's been the story of the afternoon. Jakovic and Reid riding him across the boundary line.
Just they've got that intent to tackle. It's amazing when you see sides when they've got that attitude as a starting point. They certainly can get involved in the contest. Jakovic just looks back to his brilliant best. There's no doubt about that, is there, Woosha?
No, he's been sensational today.
Taken high as Lucas must get a free kick. He's at left half back. Scott Lucas. Up towards the wing with a kick. Out of bounds on the full. It's simply coming unglued at the moment. Bellotti towards half forward. Williams was up. Cousins a half chance. Jakovic working over the top of Lucas, and a whistle.
I think Cousins is holding his arm there. You don't see him miss too many half chances, Dennis. Normally those he's onto him. He's one of the best ball handlers I've seen. Coming through like that, couldn't quite get that one. It looks like he's got a bit of a sore arm, may have been the reason. Got it bandaged up.
There's the bounce down towards half forward for the Eagles. Morrison, big leap. The advantage of White. White goes towards the pocket. Out of bounds, says the boundary umpire, who had a perfect angle on that one.
Yeah, just as Mitchell tried to throw it onto his right foot, carried it over the boundary line out of bounds.
Could give that a shake. 5-14, round 16, 1994. Throw in just outside the attacking 50 for the rampaging Eagles. Bear in mind they're working to a breeze. Well done by Bolton. The hand pass wanders up towards the wing. Rintoul met solidly. Jakovic knocks it down. Ricochets off Lucas and goes across the line once more.
There's another example of just handballing and hoping, trying to invent something and manufacture something. At this stage, they're better off trying to go directly. Got three tools in their forward part of the ground. Fletcher, Leslie, and Lloyd. Lucas is being more or less a mobile ruckman across the midfield area as we see Lucas picking up the loose ball.
Barnard held a long time in the tackle, was paid the free kick. Lucas paid advantage. It bounces inside the 50. Weapunda did brilliantly. Ran down Lloyd, who momentarily seemed away. Great closing speed from David Weapunda.
Yeah, again, just the Eagles players running to support each other. They're not relying on the one-on-one to win the contest. They're running to help each other. And again, just the backup by David Weapunda to follow up Ashley McIntosh, who did get caught out of position and force the ball to be skewed out of bounds by Lloyd.
9-4, plays 2-3. Eagles on top, boundary throw in. Alessio dangerous in these situations, directs it down to Buick, hard against the line. Darren Buick pops it out of bounds on the full. Most unlike him, he'll play game number 200 next week. He played his 150th in the reenactment match against Geelong and booted 9 goals. Generally has been a very good player in his milestone matches. Jakovic, what a game he's played this afternoon. Right half back, puts it out of bounds on the full. Well, there's no doubt about me.
They're doing it well, Dennis. They're in good form.
I said before, John, they should pay me to stand on the mark of some of these players and talk to them. There goes the kick back from Wellman down towards half forward. Getting into the back of an Essendon player down there, Buick, was Reid. Buick will get the free kick.
Really tough hit coming in that angle with the sun. Buick struggling to see the ball to start with, and Reid not really being able to see it either. So just assuming Buick had possession and putting too much pressure on him, carrying him forward, giving him the free kick.
For a little man, he's quite capable of kicking the ball a long way. Distance shouldn't be beyond him. He has the breeze coming just across his right shoulder. He's trying to work that breeze and hangs out to the right though and doesn't come back. behind. Acting captain today. What a fine player he's been for the Bombers. McIntosh looking for Djakovic. Couldn't hang on. McCurry, who's been very quiet, pulls it back towards the middle. Longfield in trouble. Hardwick has it. 60 metres from goal. Spotted a man on and finds Buick. Only about 30 metres out, sharp angle.
Just with the way the wind is, this goal is probably gettable. He'll allow for that right-hand goalpost to try to bring the ball back. Buick, as we know, is a renowned goal kicker, very smart in his approach. He'll balance himself up and certainly kick for that right-hand goalpost.
Especially when he had a kick just moments ago. Well, it didn't do him any good. He's missed even wider this time, although Lloyd has taken the mark against the behind post, but a free kick is going to the West Coast Eagles, and Bellotti will take it. Bellotti out of defence then. Back towards half-back, and Weapunda. Clever mark.
Very good mark here. That's the difference, isn't it? Essendon take a mark on the point post, and there's a free kick paid, and Weapunda marks one off his head.
Weapunda has taken his kick. It goes towards the outer side wing. Mason Bull slow to get up, and he took the mark. Sliding low down. Ball towards half forward. Djakovic and Lucas. Again, Djakovic kept his footing. Couldn't keep the ball in. That's happened a few times today. They battle for the ball in the air. Lucas has gone to ground. Djakovic has not. Now that time he didn't reap the reward. So boundary throw in. Alessio and Ball. Ball, clean possession, well played. Hurried kick down towards half forward. Wellman, the fist away. Hardwick missed it. Picked up by Barnard. Boots it back towards the wing. Fletcher coming up to meet it. Weapunda, great speed again. Shinned it forward. The Matera's combined. This is Peter. Got it from Phillip. Down towards half forward. Taken high was Williams. And he'll get the free.
A pretty poor attempt to spoil by Lucas there. Just not really attacking, keeping his eye on the ball. Just content to make contact with the player. And no doubt was going to give away an easy free kick.
Just in contests like that, John, instead of reaching and hoping to spoil, your body's really got to go through the marking contest, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Make the body contact, no doubt at all. By reaching like that, you're always going to take the player high and give away a free kick. Using the body, if he had gone for the body with his shoulder, he could have hit Williams, caused the turnover without giving away a free kick.
So Williams from left half forward, very high kick. Plenty of bombers up. Bellotti almost the mark though. Eventually, Essendon clear the zone. Blumfield boots it up towards midfield. There's a chance Carosella did nicely. Blumfield's kick comes down towards half forward. In fact, it was Heffernan across half back. This is Reid. Philip Matera. Weapunda. Weapunda up towards the wing. Squares it to Djakovic. Peter Matera wants it. That's ignored. He goes in short. Braun takes it and goes forward of the wing. Kicks it long down towards Cummings. Got fingertips to it. Changed the angle of the ball. Gearig's waiting behind. And he kicks a goal. That's all it took.
Yes, spot on now. Cummings working hard back. If he hadn't made that extra reach, that extra lunge, just to try and get a hand on the footy, there's no doubt Young would have come out and taken an easy mark. Essendon would have been away, but as you look, just forced his way back with the oncoming traffic. Fraser Gehrig behind, picked it up and finished it off. Good snap over his left body, but he was in a dangerous position there, Cummings, and did well to really reach back into the unknown territory, and good goal for the Eagles.
Approaching three-quarter time. 4 minutes 20 remaining in this third term. All West Coast Eagles. Ball goes up, wins it down. Matera couldn't control it. Alessio, who's battled hard, comes away. High kick inside the 50. And that's a good mark considering the sun. McIntosh probably aided because the ball went so high. Weapunda across the ground. This is Morrison. He's in the right back pocket, Morrison. Philip Matera wants it up the ground. Morrison hangs on a while. Now he's got a problem. Buick arrives quickly. Morrison slipped over. Reid comes away. They tidy up now. Reid the long kick. Lloyd reaching over the top, and that's a great grab. That's the top of Peter Matera.
He's paid it to Peter Matera, did he, the umpire? No, he hasn't. He actually pointed down the other way.
Hardwick. Lloyd. Now Mercury is on the wing. Mark Mercury has one bounce. Headed towards the centre square. Hand passes in front of himself. Well, no conviction in that. Runs into a tackle. Eventually gives it to Barnard. Barnard, the high kick. McIntosh back by himself because Lloyd's up the ground. A free kick was paid. So too was advantage. Weapunda looking for Bellotti. Across comes Fletcher. Well played by Fletcher. Kept it in. Jukovic went down, taken away by Philip Matera. It's going to be a free kick to Jukovic right on the boundary line.
The umpire said there was a high, the bump on by Matera on Jukovic was high. Picked it up straight away. Jukovic had his head down. He's copped the free kick.
They've actually pushed Lloyd loose across half-back, trying to get him into this contest to get a feel for the footy. No doubt they'll probably push him back as the game goes on.
No doubting that free kick. Jukovic unloads on the breeze, bending it back. Falls just short. Chance for Braun, aided by Reid, and Braun bounces the ball out of bounds. Perfect kick in the circumstances.
Dennis, what about Matthew Lloyd? 13 goals 1 week. At the moment playing, as Michael said, a kick behind the play, loose.
Well, it was always a danger coming in, wasn't it? We talked about the week he may have had, and that is still holding up that last goal. 17 minutes into the first quarter. The lowest score against the Eagles, 44 points. Jakovic gave it to Braun, who runs it out of defence. Braun around the outer side, pulls it back towards the middle and white. Reaching over the top was Wellman. Got a fist on it. This is Lloyd. Lloyd kicks it down towards full forward. Weapunda make it a free kick. No play goes on. Coming through was McKenna. Played it brilliantly. Great dash by the skipper. Got it across to Bellotti. Fancies himself in his second game to take a run. Kicks it down towards half forward. Bounces obligingly for Williams. No, it didn't. He had to wait as it turned out. Hardwick took him high. That ball just came up a metre more than Williams anticipated. And that was enough to make him a sitting target. Kicks to the pocket. Wallace is coming across, but Cousins has taken the mark. And Wallace that time showed a little compassion, I thought.
Magnificent transfer of play by the West Coast Eagles. Guy McKenna's intercept there across half-back for the Eagles was terrific. There's the free there to Williams across the centre-half forward position. Harvey just did get him a little bit high, but Guy McKenna's steal. He's the one who set it up, gave the ball quickly, released it by hand as Phil Matera comes off the ground. Banfield coming back on. The Cousins is a quality finisher. He should kick this goal.
His 19th possession, Ben Cousins. It's a goal.
Great goal by the West Coast Eagles. As you said, Mick, just started by the back line for the West Coast Eagles today has been outstanding. The pressure that they've put on across the midfield as well. You could say the pressure's been on the Essendon players across the whole oval, but the back line, just the way that they've forced Essendon into making errors. To give them only 6 shots at goal, it's an outstanding effort. Led by Guy McKenna, Glenn Jakovic, and the run of Weapunda back there.
So the margin is 54 points. Doubleheader Sunday coming into today. There were 4 undefeated teams. By tonight, there will be just 2. Rintoul digs it out. Cousins again. Away to McKenna. Down towards half forward. Williams out of bounds on the full.
Busher, I dare say there's ominous signs here for opposition clubs because this defence is starting to get stable again. The West Coast Eagles I'm talking about. When you've got the likes of McIntosh and Jakovic in the key post, you've got the stability of Guy McKenna and the creativity and run of Weapunda. And Metropolis also can play on the third tall. It looks very good.
Solomon driving it long towards the outer side. Bellotti was up from behind to fist it down. Peter Matera missed it. Showing great desperation out there was Fletcher, claimed by Peter Matera, and the ball up.
Dennis, they've rested Fraser Gehrig as well. The Eagles taking him off, giving him a rest, bring him on probably in the last quarter. And Dean Kemp carrying a bit of a leg injury, but if needed, will go back on.
Dean Kemp has had a light day. Ball up on the outer side wing. 11-4 to 2-4. Michael Malthouse getting a rousing ovation as he comes around the boundary line. Has he reinvented the Eagles again? Here's Braun. Wants to go. The ball is coming back and a free kick will be awarded to Jakovic. Jakovic coming up for his 17th possession. Jones on the outer side. Forward of the wing. Kicks it high. Cummings outnumbered. Lloyd over the top. Claimed the mark. Across the ground with the kick. This is Solomon. Now it's Berbatov. Well, he wasn't taking any prisoners there. Held on to it too long, though. He got past Rintoul. It bounced back to Rintoul after McKenna's good work. This is Hardwick. Berbatov taken front on by McKenna. Inspiring stuff by the captain. Cousins' hand pass. Wanders down towards the pocket. Lloyd content to walk across the line and throw it in as the call.
That's good passage of play, Mickey. Just hard tackling, putting the pressure on. Essendon had the numbers. They had the runners. They could have taken the ball out. But the smothered McKenna running across Berbakov's boot locked it in the Eagles' forward line yet again.
Jukovic, the flyer from behind, knocks it straight back across the boundary line.
I think every spectator out here today loves to see the free-throwing skills, the marking and the freakish goal kicking. But one component of the game you love also seeing is the body clashes and the intent to tackle. West Coast have certainly gave Essendon a teaching lesson in regards to that area of the game today.
Ball, clean possession. McKenna falling to the ground, socked away by Hardwick. There's the siren for three-quarter time. And despite the best intentions, and we saw that from the Bombers when they came out initially, to make it physical, to get some early goals, it was the West Coast Eagles who went even further, putting their stamp on this game in that quarter. With the breeze, Essendon just two behinds, and working into it, the West Coast Eagles have booted a further 3 goals. Remarkable stuff. Real luxury for Michael Malthouse. Start of the final term then. Essendon with a chance of posting their lowest score against the West Coast Eagles. A real good chance. Alessio thumps it down towards half forward. Wellman fell over. Hardwick comes through quickly. Kicks inside the 50. Buick had it, then lost it. Reed against the flow did well. Put down, but kicks the ball out towards the wing. The two big men go after it. Eventually it's picked up by Wellman, who's on the forward line now. McVeigh meters in the clear. Promising youngster. 45 metres out the left footer, looking to bend it back. But he's missed to the left-hand side. I mentioned wearing number 10. And what an honour that is at this famous football club. Evokes memories of Coleman, Shelton, O'Donnell, Folds, Noonan. Some great names there. 9th man taken in the draft. McKenna to Kemp in the back pocket. Kemp to McIntosh. McIntosh is away. Spots Bellotti. Bellotti doesn't take the mark. Runs onto the ball. Confronted by Simons. Well, that says something about the AFL. Can't do that too often. Stop and try and beat a man. Berbatov coming through strongly. McKenna takes it across the line.
It's interesting to see the start of the last quarter. Matthew Lloyd started across the halfback flank, picking up Williams. Also one of the other noted class forwards, Mercury. He's starting on a halfback flank, picking up Peter Matera.
Back at the pack. Jones over the ball. Hardwick over him.
Both coaches said coming into this game that either way it was going to be a big test for them and they were going to find where they stood for the season. So Sheedy obviously now trying to get something out of this game and teach some of his players about what is required at AFL level against top sides.
In the meantime, Hardwick was pushed down. It was a token gesture by Jones, but enough for the umpire. Weapunda, was he tripped? Play goes on. Weapunda was buried. Meantime, Bellotti got Wellman in the air, not the place to be. Boots it up towards midfield. Williams trapped it nicely. Banfield back on the ground. Solomon got him. The hand pass came across from Metropolis. Gathered by Lloyd. Beautiful disposal. Finds Blumfield on the lead, and Blumfield would be 50 metres out. Slight angle. Played so well against the Sydney Swans last week. 33 possessions. He grew up liking cricket more than footy. His idol was Simon O'Donnell. There's a bit of a similarity there. Blumfield will take a good kick from 52 metres out. Slides away towards the pocket. Fletcher was up. McVeigh, still McVeigh. Wellman got the ball towards him, but McVeigh couldn't do much with it. Off the ground by Jakovic. Well done. And away they come, the Eagles running once more. The kick towards the outer side from Reed. Embley was the man who got it to Metropolis initially. Out there, Williams giving a contest on Lloyd, and the ball trickles across the boundary line. Long shadows creeping across Subiaco Oval now. Late starting game this one, local time 3 o'clock. It's after 5 going into this final term. Embley missed the ball, well almost. His company immediately held to him, and the ball up. Solomon and Embley, the last two men to get up. Barnard. Banfield appear to put it on the ground. No free kick to the Bombers. Hardwick goes in, applies a strong tackle, but Embley didn't have the ball. He had it initially, but it came out. The tackle lingered, so Embley will get the free kick. Andrew Embley. Must have been a dream this time last year. Play every game to start the season for the Eagles. He kicks down towards the 50. Going back, it was missed by Metropolis. Tied up right on the defensive 50, and we'll have a ball up. So both coaches have swung their players all over the ground to end this thing.
The pace has certainly slowed down a little bit in this last quarter, I think, as players are finding their feet in new positions.
Alessio crashes into ball, hurriedly throws it on the boot. Here's Cousins storming goalward, miscues with a kick. McIntosh surprised by it, dropped it. Jones goes looking for McIntosh. McIntosh left it behind. He's very anxious to kick a goal. Simons gets it to Wellman, and Wellman searches for the boundary line on the bounce and finds it.
Yeah, Wellman's actually playing at centre half forward. McIntosh was cribbing and playing cat and mouse tactics with him, knowing that change of direction from Cousins was certainly on.
Cousins in front of the pack, tries to keep it alive. It trickles across in front of Morrison.
Dennis, bench news. Fraser Gehrig is rested for the day now. That bruise Tealey had, the boots are off, and Michael Braun has a sore knee. He'll be rested for the rest of the day as well.
Boundary throw in. Blumfield, Simons, Heffernan stood in the one place and got away. Kicks it high down towards the wing. Reed battling there with Buick. Well played by Buick. Slaps it wide, looking for McVeigh, but picking the ball up. Weapunda hand passes down towards half forward. Hardwick over the ball, hasn't got it. He'll get the free. Advantage will be paid. Blumfield quickly got it to Lucas, and now it's coming back.
I think that's a fair call, Dennis. The umpire called advantage as the ball spilled out to Lucas, but with the kick being smothered, the umpire brought it back. Fair enough.
That was right out there, though, wasn't it? At the edge of
Is that the limit?
paying the advantage as the kick comes down towards half forward. Alessio was up, couldn't complete the mark. McCurry's over the ball. Blumfield got it to Buick. The short one is on, going back. Missed by Berbatov. Weapunda, brilliantly done. McIntosh to Reed. The combinations are good. Reed up towards the wing. Hardwick was up. Put his hand to the ball, and it trickles across the boundary line at the interchange gates. And listen to this crowd.
Gee, I've been impressed with Weapunda's game today. He's had 20 possessions across half-back, very stable back there and creative.
Hasn't he emerged? He's just claimed that back pocket. He's made it his own. Bolton did well. Hardwick off his step. Got it to spiral down towards half forward. McVeigh almost. This is Wellman, 60 metres out from goal. It was touched by McIntosh, knocked on by Alessio. Coming up to mid at Fletcher, taken front on by Weapunda. Berbatov goes in, he's dragged down. Fletcher goes off the deck and side foots it out of bounds in the pocket.
They've just had no space to work in whatsoever. It's just been the effort of the Eagles. Here, once again, you've got three players on screen. There's Weapunda's tackle. Possibly a throw could have been awarded. But all day, it's been the West Coast attitude to deny Essendon time and space.
Blumfield almost got it. Weapunda to Peter Matera, the one-hander. He's away from half-back, pulls it back to the middle, and Morrison told to go. Simons bearing down. Great effort by Simons. The ball came to Metropolis, across to White. White's at half forward, untidy handball came to Jones, back to Metropolis. Metropolis 60 metres out. Solomon upended him, well played. Hardwick tries to knock it across to support. Down went Young. Picked up down there by Bolton. He was dragged down. Metropolis off a step. They win that battle. Kick back inside the 50. Cummings had it bounce off his chest. Heffernan, the hand pass to Lloyd to Wallace. McCurry wants it. That confused Wallace. That's holding the ball. Bad luck for Dean Wallace, and as much as he saw McCurry, and that actually confused him, he wanted to go back there because that was the best option, but at the time, perhaps it wasn't the right thing to do.
No, I don't think Scotty Cummings was saying bad luck to him either, Dennis, but just great pressure by the West Coast Eagles players. What you've found today is that when they've had no room to move and the pressure from Essendon has been good, they've had numbers there to mop up. They've been able to just keep working the ball forward, whereas Essendon, once they lose possession, they're outnumbered and the Eagles run away with it.
Andrew Williams misses by a wide margin, barely a point. 71 to 17. 13 and a half minutes to go, and the Bombers need to get a wriggle on. Otherwise, this team is going to make history of a sort.
One feels every time you see the West Coast employ that man-on-man situation on their opposition's kick-ins, they're in for a contest.
Yeah, they do it very well, Mick. Obviously, that's one thing that they work at.
Lack of talking. Alessio run down from behind. Bolton picks up the loose ball. Banfield hit it hard, doesn't he always? Across it comes to White. So instrumental in setting this thing up at the start. McKenna to Ball. Ball the high kick down towards half forward. They come from all angles. Mercury got a first on it. Simons to Young. Breaks away from half back at close quarters. Heffernan. Heffernan inside the centre square. Goes down towards half forward. From behind, Reid. Tailor-made for him. Two men in front jostling. And the small man just drifting in to take the mark at centre half back. Ball wants it short. That's ignored. Squared to the outer side. Embley. Embley. He's fitted in. He's giving instructions to Peter Matera, no less. Matera juggled attempt at the mark. Couldn't hang on. Simons picks up the crumb. Gets it across to Lloyd. Lloyd comes away from half back. Sends it back towards half forward. Burbikoff from behind Weapunda. Fell behind. The McKenna going to ground. Got the hand pass across. This is Reid. Arches the back. Slips the tackle. He's on the wing. Probing kick to half forward. Missed by Heffernan. Picked up by Bolton. Good shepherd from Simons. Heffernan can't pick it up. Now he does. Lloyd hard against the line. High chip. Bad chip. Out of bounds on the full.
Barry Young hobbling off the ground as we see. Certainly hurt his left ankle, I dare say, in that last contest he was involved in. He'll be replaced by Blake Caracella.
Meanwhile, Peter Matera. This is Williams. Deep in the pocket. Centering kick now. Waiting behind, missed by Ball. Embley stood his ground, perhaps wishes he hadn't. Caracella picks it up. Open goal beckoning for the left footer, and Banfield has missed.
Just needed a quick handball out there. Chatty Morrison ahead of the play. Banfield didn't have a chance, obviously, to look up and spot him. Threw it onto his boot. If he had have looked up, Chatty Morrison was going to run into an open goal.
(11-6) plays 2-5. Hardwick limping as well. He may have re-injured that leg, because I'm sure he hurt it in the opening term. Bellotti run down from behind by Fletcher. Ball jarred out of there, taken by Peter Matera hard against the line. And his kick has gone out on the full. Metropolis making a point back in the middle, but Peter Matera not thinking too much about that at the moment. He's hurt an ankle there. .11 and a half minutes to go. This one virtually in the book for the West Coast Eagles. In that sort of day. It's been a tough game despite the scoreline. You've got to say the Bombers are fighting hard here in this final term. They're showing a fair degree of pride. Mercury to Simons. Of course, it's too little too late. Wallace catches the ball and runs away from half back up towards the wing. In front, Burbikoff wants to go and does. Feeds it back to the middle. This is Wellman. Wellman had a charge down by McKenna. Ricochets back to him though. Wellman kicks well inside the 50 now. Jakovic is down there, controls it well. Gets it out to the voice of Kemp. Fresh. Kemp gives it to Cousins. Cousins nicely done. Slips the hand pass away to Embley. And they come away in a line. Embley's hand pass though, when he should have kicked, gets his side into trouble. Back it comes towards Kemp. And he's content to let it go across the line.
If you saw players out there today, the heat and the physical nature of this contest taking its toll, players starting to look a little bit weary.
Hardwick, from memory, the best and fairest last season for the Bombers. A degree of pain. Meantime, Essendon working inside their 50, but Barnard looking for a hand pass. Missed the ball. Weapunda gets it from Kemp. He takes on the chaser, kicks it up towards the wing. Wiapunda's running on. Bellotti comes back towards the middle. Well, it was a nothing kick, although it bounces obligingly for the man coming up, Metropolis. White's got it now. White kicks inside the 50. In front, Mercury. Goes short, Fletcher. He's at centre half back. Boots through the centre square. It's all Essendon, but Heffernan dropped the mark. Time to recover. Kicks inside the 50. Berbatov and McKenna. This will be hard for Berbatov. Berbatov and McKenna still battle. McIntosh, like the cavalry, arrived at the right time. White's got it on the outer side. Kicks it up to the wing. McKenna, or rather Matera. They're everywhere. Matera slowing things down. Thought about coming back to the middle. Now hugs the boundary instead. That was a good mark under the circumstances. Metropolis. And the chant going up from the supporters. There's ball.
No one gone to take balls, Mark. Essendon players are pretty tight now.
Back to White. Mitchell White. Off a step. Back to Metropolis, who runs inside the 50. This kick across the face of goal. And marked by Alessio. Crawling away as Fletcher.
He's worked pretty hard today, Alessio, against the odds.
Yeah, he's been good.
Really had to take it up, and he's done very well.
Fletcher crawled to that position. Out of the back pocket, up towards the wing. Solomon. Banfielded brilliantly, could have been taken high. Yes, he'll get a free kick. He turned into Fraser, who was arriving quickly after using his body very well on Solomon.
You've seen a lot of that today, haven't you, John? Their body use when they haven't actually won the ball in their hands has just got the opposition player out of the road so they can get free access to the ball. Prime example was one earlier on with Williams, who made the passage for Cousins to run onto and kick that goal unopposed.
8.5 minutes to go. Drew Banfield inside the attacking 50. Bellotti in front. Alessio from behind gets it across the line.
Dennis, you mentioned the crowd, 32,769 for people who like stats. And Dr. McGuan was correct. Barry Young's injury was a rolled left ankle. Damien Hardwick has a sore left knee, but it's not serious.
Bills in the mail tell him. Jones gets it across to Rintoul. Rintoul from outside the 50. Down towards full forward. Metropolis attempts the mark. Out of bounds off his hands.
Metropolis asking for a free kick there. Felt he was grabbed in the contest. I think the umpire played it pretty well.
Wallace and Simons. Wallace tracks it back towards the boundary. Out it goes again. 11-6 to 2-5. That's right, Essendon just 2-5. And now they seem assured of posting their lowest score against the West Coast Eagles. 44 points. Previous worst or best, depending on how you look at it. Williams under pressure, pops it up. Metropolis enjoying this run on the forward line. Lloyd knocked it down to Mercury. Back it comes to Lloyd. He's been penalised for a throw. Now, Kevin Sheedy not happy. How many times is that Mercury today? About 4 or 5?
Yeah, here's the open hand. You just watch his right hand with the open hand. Yep, good decision by the umpire. You must clench your fist. Mark Mercury, as we know, he's got that deft touch at times. When the umpire's in the right position, he can certainly see the intent of the player.
Yeah, it's when you use that open hand and you lift the ball, isn't it, Mickey? If you whack it along the ground with an open hand, you'll get away. But when you lift the ball in the air, it's definitely a throw.
Daniel Metropolis, who started his league career in a blaze of goals, from 15 metres out gets his first of the afternoon.
Yeah, Metropolis certainly has been a fairly good player too today. He's been stable across the half-back line for the Eagles. This the last quarter, he started across half-forward. But here's the Williams kick with the umpire called play on because the yardage wasn't there to give a clear mark. But here's the Mercury throw. Had it in his hands, probably could have easily clenched the fist and punched the ball to his Essendon teammate running forward. There's a good goal by Metropolis. The Eagles have certainly been very impressive today.
So the margin 61 points. We might need that record book again for the greatest winning margin by the Eagles against Essendon. Solomon inside the 50. McKenna missed it. He was hanging on though, McKenna, and it will be an Essendon free kick. It'll go to Berbatov, and he's about 25 metres out.
Yeah, certainly holding Berbatov. He just swung him off the line of the ball.
Tried to disguise it. He tried to keep the little hold in his body nice and tight, but the umpire couldn't see it. But the umpire on a good angle that time pinged Louis McKenna.
Yes, they had a Jimmy Cassidy type stronghold on Mike and Power, wouldn't you, Busher?
Yeah, that's right, mate. He would have had a fair grip there, just try to disguise it, but the umpire's up to that old backman's tricks.
Berbatov has kicked a goal.
You see both these last quarter goals coming from free kicks.
Yeah, certainly a long time coming, that goal for Essendon. 2 scoreless quarters in the middle of this game, goalless quarters. That's their first goal since the 17-minute mark. First quarter, it's an amazing effort by the West Coast Eagles players, not just the back line, but the defensive roles that they play across the whole field that really stop the amount of football going in to give the Essendon players any sort of chance to score.
Just taking a look at those winning margins. This won't go close to the record. The best winning margin by the Eagles against the Bombers, 99 points in 88. Second best, 75 in 92. Embley, was he taken high? Yes, he was, and he'll get the free kick. Andrew Embley. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining in the game. Embley kicks it down towards the pocket, and Jones, Mercury with him. Bellotti, a hand pass towards the pocket. Metropolis beaten by Lucas. Lucas was bumped off the ball. They battle after it. Here's an opportunity for Mercury. Mercury's hand pass a little untidy. Bolton took too long. Philip Matera back on the ground and back in the action. Chance for Jones over the ball. Simons throws himself in for Essendon. And the umpire lets them play. Philip Matera surrounded by Bombers. How did he kick that? His third.
Well, that's a great goal. Good reward for the little man, because he has done the hard work for the players around him today.
Here go the Jackets. Here go the Jackets.
The Jackets have started, Barra. It's going to be the last 5 minutes of this game. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Get very windy out here all of a sudden. But Philip Matera, good reward for him. 3 goals from just a huge amount of hard work. They haven't been easy goals to come to him. He's certainly earned them, which is a great result.
When you're hot, you're hot.
6 minutes to go. 13-6. Plays 3-5. 61 points. Alessio thumps it down towards half forward. Jakovic leads back in the race. Tackled by Wellman. Gets it across to Rintoul. Rintoul are high up and under. They contest about 40 metres closer to goal. No contest. Williams got it best off the boot. Goes to White. White with some time. Untidy kick, but it goes straight back to Williams. Williams dragged down. Wallace played it pretty well. Banfield put the body in. Wallace goes again. Spills to Kemp. Kemp gets it across to Rintoul. Spots a man out wide. Williams, who's run on. Doesn't he present well on the forward line? Kicks it down towards full forward. Fletcher takes the mark in front of Cummings.
Andrew Williams certainly always in the play on the forward line. Similar to Brett Heady. Brett was always dangerous whenever he's on the forward line.
Simons to Bolton. Bolton's at right half back. Short to Carosella. Carosella to Heffernan. Heffernan on the wing. Sends play down towards half forward. Wellman showed a lot of courage. Was being hung on to. He'll get the free.
He worked extremely hard on that occasion. Well, he actually pushed back into the forward 50, but had to double back, knowing there wasn't someone coming to present himself at the ball. A couple of efforts, got the just reward by the free kick, and also his act of courage.
So Wellman about 60 metres out. Just chips it up towards centre half forward. The mark is held by Rintoul. He's taken this mark a little deeper. But really a nothing kick there. No real conviction. Across it goes to Metropolis. Still, it's hard to play out time now, and that's all the Bombers are doing. Bellotti on the outer side should give it to Weapunda. Weapunda, well, that's a very untidy hand pass. Weapunda shins it down towards half forward. White got it to Jones. Jones looping hand pass. Embley Lines up goal from 40 metres out and kicks it.
Oh, another great piece of play, transferring the ball from deep in the defensive 50 and just with numbers and good use of the football, running it all the way down the ground. Andrew Embley, very good finishing there. Good run from Wiraponda. Was put under pressure from a bad handball from Bellotti, but made the most of it, just kept the ball rolling forward.
Busher, one player that has been an acquisition to this team is Chad Runtoul on centre wing.
Yeah, he's been a good running player, but also a very good heart around the football.
Just over 4 minutes to go. 14-6, 3-5. The second. Double headers this afternoon. Coming through strongly is Lloyd. Gathers the bouncing ball and fires it down towards half forward. Spills in front. Carusella. About 70 metres from goal. Short one to Solomon in the true centre half forward position. Dean Solomon looks for the lead. Berbikoff couldn't quite reach it. McIntosh just jogs to this one and takes it across the line.
There's in terms of experience. We've seen a couple of Essendon players tap the ball out, not in a real hidden way. McIntosh just picked up the ball and knew the momentum of the tackle to get him across the line. Very smart play.
Jankovic from half back, a high kick towards the wing. White one hand to it. Rintoul down towards half forward. Philip Matera storming up the ground, spilt the mark. Uncharacteristic. Heffernan met very solidly, got the hand pass away. Wallace hard against the boundary line, kicks over Wellman. Opportunity for Carusella. Wellman controlled it pretty well from the boundary line, pulls it back towards the 50. McVeigh couldn't do much with it. Banfield could. McKenna likewise. Bellotti has a look at that. Classic West Coast Eagles football, that reminiscent of their glory days. Matera to Metropolis, turns around and finds the ball and kicks it through on the bounce.
Well, the local crowd certainly appreciating that passage of football. It's just coming so late in the game now. It's just typified the way the Eagles have played today. Just a Drew Banfield slick handball on a Guy McKenna, just sensational footy. Set Guy McKenna away. He used that typical long sweeping handball that we've seen him use so much out of the back line to set play up. Peter Matera storming through the centre. Would love to see that. Daniel Metropolis recovering from a mistake. But certainly that's the way the ball's bounced today for the Eagles, and he finished off with a great goal.
Well, scarves are waving, jackets are waving. I would imagine a Scandinavian tourist walking past this ground and seeing the crowd would wonder about the Australians and their weather conditions as the ball goes inside the 50. Taken down there by Heffernan. Boots it out wide, Peter Matera.
He's been outstanding since quarter time.
Yeah,
no doubt pleasing Eagle supporters.
20 possessions in 3 quarters, and he's looked a lot polished today than he did last week.
Williams goes off the deck. Fletcher had it and lost it. It's it across to Lucas. Lucas slides it towards the outer side. Jukovic's got it. He's up from the back pocket. He kicks towards the wing. Taylor made for the flyer from behind. That was Reid. He got it on the ground. Banfield, Solomon bearing down. Reid the hand pass over the top. Kemp, still Kemp. Great evasion. Got out of trouble. Stops. Uses the ball short. Finds Jones, who flirted with the idea of running on.
Umpire called it.
Told to play on. Metropolis has been very good on the forward line in this final term. Knocked down towards Banfield. Picked up by Ball. Under pressure, Ball puts it out of bounds on the full.
Just typical play by the Eagles again today. With Philip Reid flying for the high mark. Didn't take it, but his first thought was to follow up and give a shepherd to Drew Banfield. Great stuff.
Inside the last 2 minutes of the match. Alessio still trying hard. Still going, Alessio. Need a whistle here. A promoter's dream coming in. 2 undefeated teams. A lot of subplots with Matthew Lloyd, Ashley McIntosh, Scott Cummings, Rustin Fletcher. 2 sides with powerful running combinations. But when the dust settles on this one, the day has belonged to the West Coast Eagles. Lucas knocks it down. Slung across the boundary line is Bolton. When the muscle flexing was going on early in this game, one team was bulging. Alessio and Bellotti. Bellotti hooks it down behind. Still a long way to go in this season. Simons feeds it back. This is Carusella. Maricela from centre half back. Chips it in short. Jukovic has got it. Jukovic, the hand pass back to the middle, and Simons. We kick to a contest, and McKenna is there, so unlikely to be a good result for the Bombers. Kemp, Rintoul. The Eagles will run it again. Reid to Rintoul. Hasn't got a finish on this kick. Down towards Philip Matera. In from the side, Heffernan did well. Fletcher in trouble. Berbatov bumped off it. Philip Matera somehow got through to a voice supplied by Rintoul. Rintoul on the 50, unloads wide of the mark. It's drifting back towards the top of the square. And going back, Fletcher boots it across the line. 40 seconds to go. 74 points the margin. And nobody, it seems, has left this ground.
Certainly waiting for something, Dennis. I don't know what.
Jukovic.
What are you talking about, Bushy? You've already got your West Coast Eagles jacket off in the commentary box.
No, I haven't.
Jukovic around the outer side. Bellotti. Some fair bit of the ball, Bellotti. Reaching over the top of Alessio and knocking it out of bounds. Throw an outer side. We're down to 24 seconds remaining. West Coast Eagles 97. Essendon 23. Bellotti. Solomon. Bellotti came again. Jukovic. Maricela. Off his step. Sends it towards the boundary. Valiant attempt by McKenna. Gets up and gathers the bouncing ball. Stops completely. And then just pops it over to Wiapunda.
Those two have been sensational back there in the defence for the Eagles today, along with Glenn Jakovic.
David Wiapunda is certainly one of the big stories of the season. There's the siren as Metropolis was floored. Fairly enough. But the West Coast Eagles have won in a canter. 15-7 to 3-5. And they're celebrating at Subiaco Oval. Only two undefeated teams tonight. The West Coast Eagles are one of them.
Boys! That's the one we wanted! That's it! Now